My husband and stepkids told me to get over myself because I am not the mother. So I made them feel my wrath by refusing to do everything a mother should do. For 14 months, I played the perfect stepmom. I cooked gourmet meals every single night, drove 3 hours daily shuttling them to soccer practice and dance recitals, and spent $8,000 of my own money on their private tutoring because their grades were slipping. All I ever got in return was eye rolls and slammed doors. I met David 2 years after my first husband passed away from ALS. He had 3 kids aged 8, 11, and 14. I was so desperate for a family again that I ignored every red flag. They moved into my house, the one I'd paid off myself, and immediately started treating me like hired help. His middle child, Sophia, was the worst. She'd mock my accent when I spoke, imitate my walk behind my back, and once told her friends I was the lady dad married for her money. When I confronted David, he said I was being too sensitive, that she was just adjusting. The breaking point was Easter Sunday. I spent 2 full days making a 5-course Italian dinner from scratch. Homemade pasta, braised lamb, the worst. His daughter walked into the dining room, took one look at the table I'd spent hours setting, and said, "Why can't you just cook normal food like our real mom? This looks gross." David said nothing, just started serving himself. That night, I made a decision. I went to the grocery store at 11 p.m. and bought ingredients for myself only. I meal prepped 7 days of individual portions and labeled every single container with my name in bold Sharpie. Monday morning, they came down for breakfast. Nothing. The kitchen was spotless and empty. David asked where breakfast was. I pointed to my labeled container of overnight oats in the fridge and said, "I'm sure your real mom packed something for you." Day 3, I started doing laundry, my clothes only. I washed my dishes immediately after using them and left theirs piling up in the sink. My bathroom stayed pristine while theirs looked like a disaster zone. By day 5, the youngest came to me crying with his math homework. He'd always complained when I helped him, saying I explained things weird. I smiled sweetly and suggested Khan Academy. He stood there shocked and ran to David. Week 2, David finally noticed. The house was divided. My spaces looked like a magazine spread. Their areas looked like a condemned building. He asked what my problem was. I said I was just respecting his wishes. I'm not the mother, remember? His daughter's Spanish grade dropped from an A to a D without my tutoring. She failed her midterm exam. She came to me sobbing, begging me to help her study for the retake. I looked at her and said, "Ask your real mom. I'm sure she knows Spanish." The breaking point came 3 weeks in. David cornered me in our bedroom and said I was destroying his family, that his kids were suffering because I was being petty, that his ex-wife was threatening to take him back to court because the house was a mess when she picked them up. I walked to my desk and pulled out a folder I'd been preparing. Bank statements, receipts, credit card bills. I laid them out one by one on the bed. $47,000. That's what I'd spent on his kids in 14 months. $8,000 on tutoring. $12,000 on their activities and equipment. $15,000 on clothes, shoes, and electronics they demanded. $7,000 on birthday parties and holidays. $5,000 on family vacations they complained about the entire time. I showed him the text messages from his ex, where she called me every name in the book for trying to replace her. I showed him videos of Sophia mocking me that her friends had posted online. I showed him everything. "Your family destroyed themselves," I said. "I was just the ATM you forgot to say thank you to. You wanted me to act like a mother only when it benefited you. Cook, clean, pay, chauffeur, but heaven forbid I ask for basic respect." David stared at the evidence spread across our bed. His face went white. He tried to apologize, said he didn't realize how bad it was. I told him he had 1 week to figure out custody arrangements because I was done. This was my house, and they needed to leave. He left the room, and I heard him talking to his kids. Sophia started screaming. The youngest started crying. But for the first time in 14 months, I felt like I could breathe in my own home. They moved out 6 days later.